And none of this video is advice, it's just my personal opinion. This is Josh Alba. I had a thought when I was driving in the car the other day about business and life. Business life, just general between actions that a person takes in business and in life and how they play out positively or negatively long term. I think they all correlate together. I think that they relate to mental health. I think they relate to business relationships. I think they relate to personal relationships. I think they relate to ethics and morality. So I'll get right into it. The basis of the concept is that doing the right thing is the right thing, presuming that you're going to have an average, like an average life time frame, but you want to have an above average life in that life time frame. So I want to look at this. Gotta draw. Probably more like this. And then we look at this. So one's a hockey stick curve, and the other one's kind of the reverse of that. But I wanted to leave like this area in here. I felt like it made sense to leave it because in the short term, this entire period could be 5 years, whereas this entire period could be 5 to 10 years, and then this is success. So taking the right actions daily. So what I mean by this is whether you are starting, we'll start with the positive side and then we'll show the reverse side as well. When you're starting a business or you're going to college or you are dealing with a friend that has mental health issues or family or yourself, whatever the case may be, or you're creating a relationship with someone that you want in your life, you're judging something that you potentially value in your life that you want to have in your life, or you're picking a product to sell, right? That's this whole phase right here is the beginning stages of success in an endeavor. It could be any of those things, and they all lead to this. This is the long-term success over here, whereas this is the foundation. Jesus Christ, that's horrific. This over here is the foundation that this is all going to rely upon in the future. So when we're in this stage that's circled, it's super enticing to take actions that don't work. I'll give you a business example. I'll give you a health example that I thought of, and I'll give you a relationship, whether it's friendship or relationship example type thing. So in a business example, the opposite side of this looks really good. So this is like the other side, like the negative side of this looks really good, but it's extreme risk and little to no long-term reward, whereas this is little to no risk and extreme reward potential. So if we look at the beginning of the opposite of this, let's say to scale, this is the opposite. You're flatlining, let's say this is level 100 and this is level 0. This is level 5 we're at so far. Which one would you rather be at? Would you rather be at, this is Lambo level up here, and this is ramen? Which one would anyone rather be at? But the challenge is the actions and the ethics and the moral and the responsibility that this takes. The person up here in business, for an example, that's an extreme risk in low-income communities. Let's say low-income communities, the potentials to make a bunch of money. Rob, fraud, sell drugs, prostitution. And I would even count OnlyFans in this, because 99% of these men or women on OnlyFans are literally selling their morality, their character for money. They're selling out for a dollar amount. And short term, it might be great. They might be making $10K a month posting their nudes, right? Or they might be making $20K a day selling coke. And then you have the ramen person down here who's maybe making $10 a day. And they're busting their ass doing 60-hour days to build a brand that they can sell long term. So it's super slow. And it's not sexy in this part down here. It's not sexy at all. This part is much sexier. The problem comes in, or let's do any of the three. Fraud, selling illegal drugs, or selling your body for a dollar amount, such as OnlyFans, or literally being a hooker, or a sugar baby, even, let's call it. Short term, payout's great, but it turns into down to nothing very quickly Whereas this has unlimited upward potential, and this tends to go straight down and then plateau at a zero or low level. Now, what's the reason for this? Let's say it's an illegal business case, or it's selling your body. Like you're making decent money, but as you go, oh, now you have a record. Oh, now everyone is seeing your nudes online. Oh, now you can't get a job anywhere because everyone's seeing your nudes online. Oh, you just got caught by Rolex for selling a fake watch for 20K, and you made that short-term 20K, but now you have to pay 100K or 90K in restitution. Oh, and you're going to jail for 5 to 10 years. Oh, and it just keeps going down and down and down. Whereas the opposite of that is, 5 years in, you have a business that's now doing 50K a year. Oh, now you're doing 50K a month. Oh, now you're doing 500K a month. Oh, now you can exit your company for $20 million and you're out and you're up at this level and you're happy and you're fulfilled. Like let's just say on the monetary standpoint, you're fulfilled and successful up here, whereas you might literally like not have a life down here, being in jail or a complete outcast from like you can't get married, you can't have children because nobody wants you or you have extreme mental problems because you sold your body for money. So we can see that just thinking short term just doesn't pay out. We'll do the exact same example with mental health, helping people with mental health. So short term risk with long-term benefit, the short-term pain with long-term benefit. So we'll call this pain, and we'll call this pleasure, long-term benefit, long-term pain. So the short-term pain for the extreme long-term benefit is going to be, you notice someone that's struggling and you tell them that eat the struggle. You don't give them a pity party. You don't make them feel better when they're sad. You say, do these habits and you'll feel better, but it's up to you. Like no one's coming to fucking save you. In short term, they get upset, they're not happy, they're sad, they complain. But once they get past that hump of, okay, maybe I do have a chance for responsibility here, at this stage right here where it starts to incline up, now they can at least have the power to take control and they can grow. And it's all because you were willing to do the dirty work back here and tell them that they have the choice to take the responsibility. Whereas, and this is the only fucking way for them to have the potential to end up with peace of mind long term and happiness long term. It's like any level of happiness and like life success long term. Whereas the opposite side of this is, oh, it's okay. Oh, yeah, I know you're sad. I'm going to give you the pity party. Oh, you do that too. And by all means, I'm not saying to be an asshole and like show zero sympathy. The whole point of this is empathy and empowering, because all this does is lower their self-esteem. Like all giving somebody a pity party does is lower their self-esteem and deprive them of the opportunity to grow and be up on this level. Whereas it feels good, they feel good here, but when they have no incentive to perform, and then it compounds over time, well, why do anything? Well, I'll just stay in bed, and then staying in bed turns into a month, and then, oh, every time I stay in bed, I keep getting attention, so I stay in bed longer, and every time I cut myself, I get more attention. Whereas give them attention and rewards when they go to the gym, or when they do their gratitude journal, or when they write their goals down. Long term, those habits create the success and happiness that they want. Whereas long term, giving them a pity party and making them feel better in the short term about their situation is just lying to them. And I'm not saying the people that make these people, like, for example, let's say someone has a child that's depressed or anxious or suicidal or whatever the case may be. Suicide might be like genuinely suicidal based on trauma. Might be a different situation, but for these, let's say the average 15 to 25-year-old girl, woman who doesn't leave their room and says, oh, I'm anxious, I'm depressed, that hasn't had a traumatic incident. They're just anxious and depressed because all they do is sit through fucking social media all day and scroll at other people's lives. And the parent doesn't have the balls, the courage to tell them that they need to get off their ass and go do something with their life. Because that's what a truly loving parent would do. And I'm not saying these parents don't love their kids. I'm just saying they're not showing the type of love that they need. They love them in the wrong way. Whereas the tough love to get them off their ass is going to suck short term. Their kid might not like them. Their kid can be upset all they fucking want. Like, grow upset. But long term, that's what they need to be successful. And then the third one I was going to go over was in relationships. It's super easy, and I'm all for it. Like, sex is awesome. But it's super easy to just create a relationship that's all about sex. And the same thing with a business relationship. It's super easy to create a relationship that's just about, oh, we're going out, we're spending money, we're having a good time. I like to hang out with this dude. Like this I'm homies with him because we get to have a bunch of, like, we get to spend a bunch of money and have a good time. Whereas like trying to build something and being extremely patient where you might be alone for this whole time, between friends, relationships, family relationships, all this flat line. You might be alone for the whole time, but what's it going to take to get to where you want, like where you truly desire to be? And I guess another problem is that most people don't know what they desire. So then they end up getting whatever happens to them, and then they're fine with it because they didn't know where they wanted to go anyway, but that's a whole other story. But for simplicity, when you do the right thing, even when it's hard, you end up with better results and extreme success over the long term. And that is what you fucking want. I guarantee it. For health, wealth, happiness, fulfillment, success. To feel good, to enjoy the single life that God gave you, that you know of, you're consciously aware of. So there's my take for the video today. Don't take the shortcuts in business. I'm not saying don't utilize tools and skills and ways to get ahead quicker. I'm saying don't take the shortcuts, whether it's an OnlyFans account or it's like selling items that you shouldn't be selling on Mercari and eBay and stuff like that, because I make videos like that. It's not worth it long term. It feels good short term, and it's super easy for me to say this, and like someone that's making any X amount of dollars doing these things. For example, girls on OnlyFans making 10 to 100K a month. I applaud them for generating revenue and driving income. They have a product that they want to get to market and they sell it. What's it going to do to their mental framework long term, how they feel about themselves, and then what's it going to do to their opportunities in life later because they can't find a mate, man or female, because nobody wants them, because they've been used by everyone in society, because they allowed themselves to be used for a piece of paper with green faces on it, or not being tough, not giving someone tough love when they need it, and they have the opportunity to correct their mental health issues, and just saying, oh, it'll be okay, oh, it's okay, I'm going to give you attention and reward you with attention, because the actions matter, the words don't mean shit. I'm going to reward you with attention every time you complain. Like when I ask my ex-girlfriends, if they complain and I don't say, did you do your fucking gratitude journal today? In nicer words, I'm not an asshole. And I don't care if they get upset that I ask them that, because it shows that I care. Or just telling them straight up, like I'm not here to listen to you complain. And it's mainly women, like from a drama, emotional standpoint. So I'm not making this video to be judgmental, just observational. And none of this video is advice. It's just my personal opinion. So take what you like, disregard what you don't. Would love to discuss your thoughts on the input that I've left here. So all in all, final comment. When you build the foundation, you create the best long-term success. There's my take. Thanks for listening. So my Instagram's, I'm literally locked out right now because I set up two-factor authentication, whatever, and I got logged out somehow, and now I'm no longer able to get in. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to have access to that. If you want to get a hold of me, either leave a comment down below or email me at summitsme@gmail.com. New business owners, there's $11,300 about in free cash bonuses. These aren't loans. They're just strictly bonuses from banks and credit companies and the government, and incentives to start your new business, which pays for an LLC, which pays you a marketing budget. There's zero excuse if you have the time, if you're not lazy, and you want to commit to, even if it only added $1,000 a year, let alone $1,000 a month, let alone having investors giving you 56K in a day in a 40-minute meeting, which is my new brag. And these are, again, 50K in a day is baby numbers. Billy Nubs will teach me that, and will tell me that. So definitely think bigger, but the best way to get a hold of me is summitsme@gmail.com about those rewards or coaching. See you all in there.